all, welcome to my channel. I'm Mark, this is Mark's Modz, and today is Back to the Future Fridays, everybody. So we are going to be doing issue 87 of Build Back to the Future Delorean, and I can honestly say there is a lot to do in this issue today. We're going to be finishing off the roof of the vehicle, the ceiling for the interior, and then we're going to be fitting it onto the body of the car. We've got about how many pages of instructions to do today, so yeah, it's gonna be fun, but I'm really looking forward to it because it is the DeLorean after all. So with all that said, let's get modelling. Okay, let's get started with today's issue. So we're going to need this that we worked on a previous issue. And the first thing we need to do is we need this part here. That is going to be going on just on here. And then we need to turn it over and screw it in with some GP screws. We want 2 of them. Making sure I screw in the correct place, so it's this one here. That's 1. And this is the second going in. Okay, the next parts we need to do are these, which are very similar to each other, and they're going to be going on just in this location here. They do have a location tab, and again both these need screwing from behind with more GP screws. So we'll do the first one. It does actually say to do these at the same time, but I think that's going to be an absolute impossibility. So just making sure I get the screw in the right place. Oh, it's not liking that. There we go. So that's the first one in. Just tighten that up a little bit more. Okay, and then we'll get the other one in. Just try and straighten that. There we go. Clicked into place. Let's just see if we can. Okay, I'm happy with that. Stop messing with it. And then we'll put the other one in. Now, in the film, we never really looked at these in the film and what they do. So I'm quite curious to maybe do a bit of research on them. Okay, so they're now in place. The next bit of detail we've got is this bit here. This is simply going to fit just down onto there. And we're going to be screwing that in with, this time, a BP screw. So let's get a BP screw ready. And let's just make sure we get this in the right place. Right, I do believe it's here. Right. Oh, that's better. Clicked into place. Does seem a little bit wonky. I don't know. Anyway, right, so what we need to do next is we need to put on the sun visors, and that's going to simply go, we bob it into there, then we turn it over, and we're going to more or less just put one of these in, if I can get them off my magnetic mat. Put things on this mat so I don't lose them and then they won't come off again. So we've got a little rod here Might need tweezers for this, but we'll see how I go. Right, yeah, gonna need tweezers for this one. My favourite tweezers. Right, so some visor goes in. We flip it over. We get our little rod here. This really doesn't want to sit in it. Quite loose, but it really didn't want to know anything of it. Okay, so we've got that in now. Then what we need to do is we need to put one of these sort of holding brackets in place, so it stays in there. Okay, and that's going to be screwed in with 2 IP screws. And then more or less we're going to repeat on the other side. That's 1. That's 2. A bit twisted, but you know, it is, yeah, doable. Too sure I'm happy with that, the way it's twisted. So let's just double check things. I seem to be lately my own worst critic. Right there, that's all in. Okay. There's no left or right on these holding brackets, so we know we're okay there. Right, so we'll just work out like that. Right, so we'll get the next one in. Just making sure this is the right way around, which it is. Okay, our pin. Thought I'd broken some of them, but no, it was the cap for the tweezers. Get that one in. That's sitting nicely. Get the cap. Just double checking there's no left and right on here, which there isn't. Okay. Right, and again we need to put this in with 2 IP screws. Sometimes I wish I had 3 hands. But I don't. Right. Second IP screw. I'm just double checking this just to make sure it is in the right way. Seems to be, but these two pieces seem to be different. But there's no left and there's no right on them. So I don't know what that's all about, but they do seem to be two different pieces. And it says it's marked, but I just don't see any markings on it. Let me just double check, because we like to do things properly. There is no markings on that. Let's double check it with the parts. And all I get is 87A, which is hinges times 2. There is no left or right on this part, so I presume it's correct. Well, there's no difference in them at all. Even though that's quite loose. Let's just double check this one. Because if, like I said, you're building along and following this, you're going to want to know to make sure it's in the right place. So again, there's no left or right on it. So I'm presuming this is the correct part. Very, very strange. But you've got to remember how old this build is. So some things could have been corrected. Let's just double check this one. Right, no, that seems to be the same. Right, okay, so we've established there's no left and right on these, even though it does indicate that there is a left and right on them, which makes no sense at all. Okay, so they're in place. Right, so let's get on to the next step. So we've completed all them steps. The next thing we need is this wiring here. And we need to basically place this in the car. So looking at this, I presume the longest wire is going to be going up to here. So by lining it up, okay, the second longest wire, I presume, is going into here. Am I wrong or am I right? Let's double check. Seems quite big, really, to be going in there, but okay. And then the shortest wire is going into here. Okay. Then we've got some pieces of tape that we're going to be putting over these connections. try and get the tape off. So, piece of tape over this one, just here. I'm trying to make sure that I line up all the wires to where they're coming out of, because you can sort of see an indentation of it, and it's just great practice to do so. Put a piece of tape on here, and a piece of tape on just here. Just making sure that's no, it wants it to come out just a little bit like that, facing upwards. We give you quite a lot of tape. Okay, so what we need to do now is sort of run this wiring down into the channels. Now, basically what I'm going to use is my own tape, just to make sure I get into all the places that it needs to be in. So, let's get some tape. That scrap end off. Now, it doesn't say to do this in the instructions, but I just think it's good practice just to make sure that you follow good cable management. So the cables are going to be coming out through here. I'm a bit concerned about this clump right in the middle. Let's have a look, see what it does. Yeah. I'm going to take that off for now. Right, so it's where all the other cables intersect from. So I'm going to turn the cable on this LED bulb around so it's facing the other way. So it's facing more or less like that. Put the black tape on it, just like that. And then that should, in theory, sort out the cable management. Bit more electrical tape. There we go, just to add, just to make sure things are going to be where they should be. Right, okay, now I've done that, the next thing we need to do is we need to take a cable grip and we're going to put this on and then screw it down with an IP screw. So make sure that all the cables are where they should be. Grab an IP screw. Try and get it on your screwdriver. And we're going to screw these wires down. Okay, so that's that step complete. So what I need to do next is I need to bring up my builder's cushion from Partwork Upgrades, because we are going to be working on something that I don't want damaged. So I'm going to bring the car across. Here we are. Now, the next step it's saying, and this is where I'm going to deviate a bit from the instructions or destructions, as I sometimes like to call them. We need to put this wire in. Now, I know what this wire is for. And this wire is for the flux bands that are going to go on the outside. Now, because I'm doing the EL light mod, I actually don't need to do this. But what would happen is you would put the wires up through into there, like that. Okay, and then they'll be out the other side. But because I'm doing the EL light mod, I don't need to do it. So I'm going to take this cable off. But that's what you would do in the next stage. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to basically, we've got all the wires coming off here, which is what they're asking for. So what we need to do is we need to fit the roof of the vehicle. So I'm going to lower this down onto here. Hopefully everything will line up, which it is doing. So that's fantastic. And we basically now need to screw this down. All my wire management is where I want it as well. So I'm happy with that. Nicely all lined up. So let's get screwing this in. I think this is one of the most successful builds I've had for a while, actually, where things have actually gone right. Okay, so first of all, we need some NM screws. So I'm going to put one right in the centre here. That's nicely in place. And then there's two at either side to do. These are actually covered at the moment by the sun visors. Wow, you've really got to get that in. Goodness me. Just make sure, yeah, I'm using the correct screws. So okay, 3 more to go. I've got 2 stuck together there. Or is that a different screw? Yeah, that's an IP screw. Don't know how that's happened. And that doesn't help. That's another one in. Just keep glancing over to make sure that everything is in camera shot, and it is. Thank goodness. So looking forward to seeing this when it's complete. And I've not got long to go really. But I will be continuing the issues and doing the Back to the Future 3 car. I know a lot of people have said, you know, just keep it the stock, but I want that car. Plus the fact Eagle Moss have already sent me and charged me issues for the extra, so when I wasn't receiving the issues that I needed, they were just sending the issues willy-nilly and all over the place. So okay, so that's in. That was BM screws that I used there on them too. And that is it for this issue. And wow, that ceiling is looking tremendous. I'm really impressed with this one. And it's been a bit of a mammoth one, this issue 87, because obviously we had to do a little bit of cable management and stuff like that. So we worked a little bit more than what we were told to do in the instructions. Obviously the cable for the flux bands, again, obviously I haven't installed that because I'm doing the EL light mod. So that is actually not needed. But I can put this to one side, and you know, one day I may think, you know what, I'm going to change it to factory. So you know, I don't think that's ever going to happen, but you know. Anyway, that's issue 87 complete. Well, that's it for issue 87, guys. Thanks for tuning in with me today on this issue. I really enjoyed that, and the reason I really enjoyed that is because we did do quite a lot, and it just seemed to flow really easily and be done quite easily as well. So yeah, onwards and upwards. I do have up to, I think, about issues 94, 95 for the Delorean. So I've got a lot to get on with, so like I said, I might just kick in an odd issue with here and there, instead of just the one issue on a Friday, because there is quite a bit to do, and I've got quite a few issues stacked up to do. Anyway, if you like this video, please give it a massive thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and you'll be notified of any future videos. But as for always, guys, stay safe and bye for now.